Let me guess, you're the type of person that when you're walking around the mall trying to have a good time shopping with your friends and family, you just can't help but think and feel like everybody is judging you. You think to yourself that everyone's judging my fit because it's super lousy, super weird. You think everyone's making fun of your corners because they're receding and thinning a little bit. Everyone thinks that you smell, that your teeth are yellow. Or when you go to the gym, that one time where you find the discipline, you find the motivation to go to the gym finally, that everyone is judging you because you're super small, you're skinny fat, you don't have big arms, your chest is flabby. When you go onto the bench press, you're not really lifting an impressive amount of weight, and everyone is judging you, and everyone's making fun of you, and everyone is comparing themselves to you and saying, oh, I'm so much stronger than that guy. Sack that guy. That guy is a loser. If that sounds like you, I promise you, I'm going to share with you 3 tips I guarantee will work in helping you stop overthinking all the time. They're ordered from least important to most important, so make sure you watch the entire video. This first tip is an immediate mindset you can apply that will guarantee overnight stop you overthinking so much. And it's realizing everybody overthinks. Everyone that you think is judging you is making fun of you. Everyone is thinking the exact same way about themselves. For the longest time, I thought that this issue of overthinking, insecurity, no confidence, it was a problem inside of me and me only. But if you think about it, most people, they don't take care of themselves physically and mentally. They're just a terrible mess, emotional human being, most people. So it makes sense that most people would be overthinking too. As in, when you're walking around that mall, you're seeing everybody around you, and you're thinking to yourself, all of them, they're secretly judging me. Inside of all of their heads, just as you are thinking that they are judging you, they, in the reverse, are thinking that you are judging them. But you're not judging them, right? You're too in your own head trying to think, why is everyone else judging me? While everyone else secretly is thinking about how you're judging them. It's a weird cycle where most people think that other people are judging them when in reality, the other people aren't thinking about them. They're super internal, super self-centered, super, I guess, almost egotistical in a way where they are just concerned about themselves. And as they should be, right? They don't know who you are. Why should they care about what you're doing? They're just focused on themselves. Anytime, even today, after I tried and fixed my mental health and I tried to overcome this problem that I've had in my life of overthinking, sometimes I'll think to myself, oh, why are they judging me? And I'll start overthinking myself. But it's a good anchor to come back to where, no, they're not judging me. In reality, they probably think I'm judging them, and I don't care about them. I didn't even notice that their outfit's terrible or that they smell. Didn't even notice it. You know, you got to always go back to that foundation. Most people don't care about you. They're not even noticing you. So why bother? Which goes into tip number 2, which is meditating. This will help you so much. Meditating is amazing, and I know you don't want me to talk about meditating because no one loves meditating, no one likes to do it. No one wants to sit down for 5 minutes and sit on a chair doing nothing when their phone's right there and they could just watch TikTok, Instagram. I get it. I struggle to meditate some days too, and I just really don't want to, but this right here, meditating, it will genuinely change your life if you stick to it. And I don't mean that by exaggeration. There's a reason a lot of people online, on your friends, family, they talk about meditating. And you hear this all the time, meditating, meditating. There's a reason you hear it all the time. It's because it works. And we're trying to convince all of us as a collective. We're trying to convince you to finally sit down and give it a try. So let this video be a final reminder to finally give it a try to get rid of this problem in your life. Because you don't want to be that insecure loser, right? Just being able to walk through a street and not think about how everyone's judging you, and just be confident in yourself, being able to finally make friends and finally have meaningful relationships, be able to talk to people that you're uncomfortable talking to otherwise because you're just super insecure, super low self-esteem in yourself. That's all you want, right? So give meditating a try. because that's exactly what meditating does. It stops you from having all these rancid, lucid, just thoughts being able to run a rampage, run a riot inside your mind, and gives it some order, gives it some structure, gives it some organization, and you're able to clearly understand what you're even thinking. Most of the times when you're overthinking, it's not something that you consciously think about, right? When you are overthinking, you just overthink. You don't, the thought doesn't occur to your mind that, oh, I'm overthinking right now, I gotta stop this. You just overthink, right? It's like if a chef was gonna make food, they don't just like think about making food all the time, that, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a steak, I'm gonna make a steak, guys. I'm gonna make a steak. No, they think about making the steak, obviously, but then they just make the steak, right? When you're overthinking, you're not thinking about the fact that you're overthinking. You just overthink. So you need to even realize in the first place that you're overthinking. You need to realize what your mind is thinking, which is crazy to say today. You don't even realize what your mind is thinking half the time. So you gotta meditate so you can finally take control of your brain, take control of the things that you're thinking about and be able to change them. See, I gave you the first tip, right? That most people are overthinking. You're going to forget about that if you don't meditate. You're going to forget about it because you're going to be too busy overthinking to realize that everyone else around you is overthinking too. You're just going to forget that the tip I just gave you, you're going to have to meditate in order to implement it. Which is why I told you in the beginning of this video, I'm ranking all of these tips from least important to most important, because the last one's even more important, but like meditating is even more important than realizing that everyone else around you is overthinking. Because I can tell you that over and over again, but you got to actually implement that advice, and you got to realize in the moment that everyone else is overthinking around you, and you do that through meditation. Okay? And now I'm going to actually talk about tip number 3. And it's not something that you've heard. It's going to be something I haven't heard anyone talk about. It's that you will never stop overthinking. And you got to stop treating it like a problem. It's kind of like Marvel, Hulk, right? Who was his name? Bruce Banner always thought that Hulk was the problem. It was an infection. And then we got the monstrosity in Endgame when he finally realized we saw that big Hulk with our glasses. He finally was able to merge two worlds together, the intellect and the strength from the Hulk, when he realized, Bruce Banner realized, that Hulk isn't an infection, it's actually the problem. Sorry, it's Hulk isn't the problem that is in his life, it's actually the answer to the problems in his life. That's the same with overthinking. You gotta stop treating it like it's a disease, and it's actually a superpower almost. It's a superpower to be overthinking. It's a superpower to be such a perfectionist, to be able to notice such small details about things that most people would just glance over, not even realize. The problem that you have right now, the equivalent of Bruce Banner using the Hulk, like super angry and not being able to control it, that's like you're overthinking, right? It's because you're overthinking emotionally, right? You're not letting your calm, stoic, masculine brain overthink. You're letting your feminine, soft, emotional brain overthink. That's why you're able to be be able to overthink about such small things like people are judging on your outfit, people are judging you on the way you're talking to them, people are judging on your haircut, people are judging you on your hairline, people are judging you on your body shape. People will judge you on that, obviously, but you get what I'm trying to say. But that's not what we want, right? We don't want to be emotionally overthinking. We want to stop doing that. So we counteract emotional overthinking with, what's the opposite of emotion? Logic. So you just use logical overthinking instead of emotional overthinking, which is, this changed my life. Logical overthinking. using whatever problem I had, my anxious, just by birth, anxious, super curious, super perfectionist, twisted mind that I can't change no matter how much meditating I do, no matter how much I tell myself that people don't judge me, they're scared of being judged themselves. No matter how much I do those, I still overthink sometimes. I still do it. So I use it to my advantage. I tell myself I'm gonna logically overthink. Let me explain to you how you can use this in a story. I, one time, was not wearing perfume when I went out. And that's a big thing about me. I want to smell good. I want to be groomed well. So even if you don't know my name, at least you know that I smell good and that I take care of myself, right? I didn't wear perfume on this day. And I started to overthink a little. I started to overthink that everyone thinks I'm smelly. Even though I wore deodorant, I took a shower. I didn't smell bad, but I didn't smell good. Because I didn't smell good, I was overthinking. You get what I'm saying? So logical overthinking, I'd stop being emotional, stop being like, everyone's judging me, I want to run home, womp womp. I told myself, let me go and go to the perfume store in like the big retail mall that was right next to my school, and I'm going to try the sample and be like, oh, I just want to try the perfumes out. Okay, I want to try this perfume out. Oh, let me just spray it on myself. I'm just going to spray this perfume myself. I swear I'm going to buy it. I swear I'm going to buy it later. I just want to smell it on me first. I want to see all the dry down, the top notes, the base notes. Start throwing all the lingo to the poor lady, and she let me spray it on me a couple times. And it's a really weird, like a super niche, weird example, but you get what I'm saying, right? I use my logical overthinking to solve my problems instead of amplifying my problems, instead of making them seem much worse than they really are. This is really good if you overthink during texting. So this is another good example where if you send a message and they don't reply to you within 5 minutes, and then you start overthinking, oh, did they hate me? Did they befriend me? Did I say something weird to them? Like, did I weird them out? What did I say to them? And you start overthinking, and it just becomes a big mess. And Lord forbid, you take that insecure energy and you put it back to them and you just be like, why didn't you message me? And then you start crashing out on them. So then just use logical overthinking, like, what's the time? This is the time. Or they usually shower, or they usually are probably working or going to the gym around this time. That's probably why they're not texting me. Their phone's on silent. And trying to focus on working, on studying, instead of talking to your dumbass. You use the logical side of your masculine brain and you channel it into overthinking, the core essence of your brain, which you really can't change. Because overthinking is going to stay. So you may as well use it to your advantage. Turn it into a superpower. It's like autism. Like you see the kids with autism. A lot of kids, you have some of them, they'll just let the autism consume them and, like, I don't know, do whatever. Or they'll use it as a superpower and then they'll become like Elon Musk. Like build a multi-billion-dollar brand using that superpower. It's only a superpower if you make it one. So you gotta make it one. And I just realized I sound really corny right now, but it's tip number 3 for a reason. Like tip number 1, you probably heard most people tell you that anyway. And if you're watching this video, that clearly didn't work for you. Number 2, you might have heard it here and there from friends, but you haven't implemented it, so you don't even know if it works. But this tip number 3, I guarantee you this is the first time you've heard about it. And you're hearing it from me because I implemented it in my life. And if I could give you one tip about overthinking, fixing your self-confidence, fixing your self-esteem, fixing your insecurities, logical overthinking. Because you've been overthinking forever, right? I bet if you look back on your childhood, you've been overthinking since the days you can remember, since way back then. So this overthinking problem, it's not going to go away. So you may as well turn it into the answer. And that's exactly what I did. And that's why even though I told you the benefits of tip number 3, I'm still talking about it. Because you still don't believe me and you're still not going to use this. And 6 months from now, you're still going to be insecure, and that insecurity is going to make you stop making as much gains in the gym as you would have made otherwise, not making as much money as you would have otherwise, stop making the friends you would have wanted otherwise, meeting the people that you wanted to have otherwise, even making the money that you wanted to otherwise because of this problem that you have in your life, or emotional overthinking. You'll be in the exact same position, probably even worse, 6 months from now. And maybe you'll have to watch this video again 6 months from now and finally listen to my advice. Or you can just listen to my advice now and save yourself 6 months of wasted time. If you found this video valuable, click on this one right here. I'm sure you'll enjoy it as well.